Hey everybody, I'm Josh Olive with Haven Comics. It's Thursday night. It's a dark and stormy night. There's a lot of lightning, thunder, hail, wind, rain, but it's Thursday night, and that means it's time for some shop talk. So stick around after we play this awesome video, and don't get blown away. You can be blown away by the show, just don't get blown away by the weather. Uh, One is okay, the other is not. Speaking of things that are not okay, here's Alan.
I'm gonna be honest. I have no idea what we're fixing to do. I have no idea what we're fixing to talk about. I did this week's comics last week because I got excited over Daredevil Cold Day in Hell. But
God, that
then,
was so good.
but then I saw your thumbnail tonight and got so excited over the thumbnail tonight that I went and snatched out my first appearance of Stilt-Man. Yes, I did. I mean, I'm ready. I am caught up on Daredevil. I actually started a new book series. I don't know what we're going to talk about, but I'm definitely ready to talk.
What new book series did you start?
So there's an author by the name of John Gwynn, and he has several trilogies, like The Faithful and the Fallen, of Blood and Bone, or something like that. And they looked pretty good. The only problem is I was looking at them, and even the paperbacks were like $28. So I snatched out my trusty Kindle, and before I and I'm glad I did this before I bought the first, because I thought I'll just give one of these trilogies a try just to see. And when I got to looking at it, every single book series that he's written is some type of spinoff of each other. It's all one big massive shared universe. So I literally just started. The book is called Malice.
Okay, I've seen those. I've got one of those, and that may be the one I have actually. That I started to read, and I didn't get very far into it because I just did not like his style.
It does take a little while to get into, and that particular book, the beginning of it is kind of strange because you start off with a prologue, and then you cut to an excerpt of a book that was written by those people at that time, or by a character at that time. And then you jump to the book itself, and each chapter is a POV from a different character.
Yeah.
And then it's now, one thing that I did like about it was, say if this character's POV ended on a cliffhanger, you got the second part of that little story 3 or 4 chapters later. And I mean, it's like 60 something chapters, and I'm only on chapter maybe 15. But I understand what you're saying, but it does take a while to get into it. And so far, the story is actually very interesting.
I've got a book by somebody named Anthony Ryan. It's called The Pariah, and it looks really good. The plot sounds really good. And I started it, and I'm like 15, 20 pages in, and I've already found 4 typos.
Yeah.
I'm like, where is the editor on this book? Where is the proofreader on this book? This is a book I bought off the shelf at Barnes and Noble.
Oh, wow.
Where is the proofreader? Where is the editor? And I'm an English major. I could not read it anymore because I was so mad at the shortcuts that were taken and the obvious lack of attention paid. I was so mad. I was like, screw this. And I just put the book down, and I've never picked it up again.
See, my only thing with this Malice book by John Gwynn is it leads you to believe that everything is happening at the same time in real time.
Okay.
But then there's a couple of the stories you've got, like, there's one character that I'm really starting to like. This character, I'm starting to get attached to this character, so I got a feeling he's going to get killed. But when you read through his portion of the story, you come to realize that a good portion of his story took place almost a month earlier than other parts of the stories. and it's like they're happening in unison, but they're out of time sync. But he's trying to draw everybody in together.
That's interesting. If you can pull that off, that's quite a feat.
Yes, yeah. So far, it's been nerve-wracking. But once you figure out what he's doing, you're like, okay, now that's kind of a cool concept. I like what he's doing here. One thing that I definitely have not liked about it is, when you're reading a novel, you start developing a mental image of a character or of a scenery or something.
Yep.
And several of his characters, like this one that I'm really starting to like, his name is Verdus. Probably about 4 or 5 pages into the introduction of his character and where he's at and what's going on. I'd say 2 or 3 actually. In my mind, I'm already picturing this, middle-aged, if anything, in his 30s, battle-hardened warrior that's tired, and he's just like, why are we doing this? All right, let's just do this and get it over with. Just to find out, like 3 pages beyond that, he's only 17. And it's like, it would have been nice if you would have given me those minor details like age and things like that at the beginning of his story. So that, because, in my mind, this dude has got a wife and 25 kids back in the village, and he's going to go kill this giant just so he can get back home to his wife and 25 kids. But then you find out, no, he's just been.
He's got to kill the giant so he can go graduate from high school.
Exactly. it was minor things like that that's just, it's completely and totally on me.
Hey, stop the presses. Guys,
easy.
We have a special guest who has just shown up. Better send the word out to all your peeps on your social media so they can come and catch this. We got comics to talk about. We've got the Keith asked the diamond question that we can talk about, and he's absolutely right. But before we do any of that, we have to introduce Mark the Awesome.
Thank you. It's the only place I ever get applause. I love it.
That doesn't seem right.
I want to come out to the Ultimate Warrior theme though, and come in and start shaking things, like shaking the ropes and all that.
But WWF have copyrighted the snot out of that thing.
Yeah, Alan, make me some new music in the vein of the Ultimate Warrior music.
I'll see what I can find online for you.
Okay.
It's funny.
I'm texting Posey to let him know that you're on here so that he doesn't miss anything.
It's funny that you're on here. I mean, I had no idea you were coming on tonight, but we were actually talking about you at work yesterday. And we were talking about it today. We were talking about literally like not that you're one of them, but you'll understand why the conversation led to you. We were talking about like independent artists and how they go about getting like work published when they have like no connections or things. So I was talking about Kickstarter and everything else. I was like, I got this buddy of mine, Mark Spears. This is what he did with Kickstarter. And now he's all of a sudden got one of, if not the hottest books that's on the shelves 2024 and 2025.
Yep.
I was like, and it's, I said, I can only imagine what he's going through. It's weird to me because I've got this buddy of mine that it took him 30 years to become an overnight success.
You know what? I was just looking at when you popped on there, your beard has gotten a little bit bigger, a little bit bushier. And I was thinking,
I've been in seclusion for a while. This is not my expo appearance. I'll look all nice and groomed.
I like it. I was just going to say, man, I just realized that if they were to make a movie of your life, that they could get Jack Black to play you,
dude,
and that would be freaking sweet.
I went to see Minecraft, and I was telling my kids right before we went, I said, some kid might mistaken me for Jack Black out in the hallway thing before you go to the movie, because dude, with my hair is getting longer, and
there you go.
You do like
Well, I'm gonna tell you
and
what.
steel, you know.
If you show up at the expo with that beard and that shaggy head, I might start throwing dollar bills at you.
Well, man, that might,
That
yeah,
sounds like a reason to do it.
that sounds good, man. I'll keep it.
Now I'm never.
I didn't know I was sexy for Alan. I'll
What?
keep it there, man.
Now I'm never gonna unsee him as Jack Black.
Look,
Jack,
Matt
whoa,
Funky
whoa,
said
whoa,
to me
whoa,
right
hang
now.
on, guys,
story.
hang on.
Look at Big
Nosh in
Nosh.
the house.
What's
up,
going on,
Nosh?
Nosh? How's everything
Dude.
going, brother?
Dude, hope you are doing awesomely, man. Hope everything is well. Yeah, Nosh is an awesome dude, Mark. You got to
I've
get to
seen
know
him on
that
here
man.
a couple of times when I've been on, so that's awesome.
Yeah, Nosh is the man. So, a couple things we gotta just got off work. Rock on for you, man. You're usually heading into work about this time, so good for you. First of all, I think we have to address the elephant in the room, and that is Tots. You were not the first one to comment tonight. James beat you to it. Tots is always the first one, but not tonight. James got here first, so congratulations. Yep. Good job, James. One last thing we got to address real fast because this is timely and finally got settled today of all things. Did Diamond really try and give the second highest bidder the win after the fact? Yes, they did. They tried, and Alliance Entertainment sued them, and suddenly they changed their mind.
Okay, so who was the second highest bidder?
It was a combo bid of
Universal and
somebody else.
The guy who own NECA. I forget what their name is, but they own the action figures.
Yes,
they own a bunch of different companies. They're smaller companies within their company, but they went with Universal together because Universal wanted the UK distribution still, right? Remember, they wanted that a month ago, whatever. So it was both of them together, bid less, but got the bid.
They bid 69 million, just under 69 million or so, and
Alliance
Entertainment bid 72.
But with everything added together, ended up being 84 that Alliance had to, bid, with all the other fees and all this stuff added. But dude, that's some drama right there. That's interesting stuff that and in the
Diamond
end,
can't even die right,
exactly. And in the end, I still don't think comics will be distributed by Diamond. Is what I think.
So when you say Universal, are you talking about like Universal Studios?
No. There's a company called Universal Distribution.
Okay, gotcha.
We're using Universal right now. They're a Canadian distribution system. Monsters is distributed by them. Now they will distribute in the US. That's why we use them. Currently we have Diamond, Steel, Lunar, and Universal. Our orders with Universal are way lower, but what the Universal will only distribute to brick and mortar stores.
Yeah, God love them for that.
Yeah,
none of these buyers clubs where it's just a couple guys and their friends who order stuff in their garage. Yeah.
So it's I'm running into a thing right now. And Josh, you might see this on the retailer stuff, all that you communicate with, is Lunar would only take 4 of my covers, right? 4 of my books. For issue 5, which is going to be the first big issue that they're carrying. They did carry the 5th printing one, but issue 5, there's 4 covers offered over there, but not the incentive at Lunar.
Yeah, I know, and that's extremely painful.
And retailers don't know what to do because they want the incentive. Do they go with Diamond, which,
may or may not be here?
Universal, I don't know if Universal's carrying all my stuff. I'm not sure. And then you go with Lunar, but there's no option for that incentive. What we're doing for number 6, it comes out in July. We went down to 3 covers, and the incentive is the 4th cover, right? So that way we was able to get the incentive in there because we know that retailers really want the incentives. So that's a problem with number 5 right now. I don't know what happens because of that whole incentive and all that.
Well, I was in that exact same boat. As a retailer, because I have much better terms with Lunar, and I can depend on those books to show up 99.9% of the time. Um, with Diamond, they're not showing up on time. They're more expensive. It's just a real hassle and it's a pain. And doing them at both places is rough.
Yep.
But I thought I might know a guy that I might be able to snag one or two of those incentives. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he might. But
So, just so I know what we're talking about, it's like when you're talking about the incentives,
It's like the 1 in 25 variant.
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I was going to ask. 'Cause I just pulled it up on League of Comic Geeks, and just to see what the and I saw the 1 in 25. That is pretty cool.
so that actually might be ordered less than any of the other incentives we ever had, just because of this whole lunar diamond thing going on.
Yep, it will be.
So that's a problem. Fifth printing of number 1, just the orders came in this week. That's our first reprint or subset printing, or however you want to call it, of any issues over at Lunar. We had 20,000 pre-orders for
the fifth printing.
For the fifth printing.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's more than you had of first prints.
Oh, that's more than
twice
issue
as
number
much as
2.
you had of first prints.
That's more than issue number 2 was. I think it was around 15,000. So of issue of the first printing of issue 2. So yeah, and like again, I just found out last night that the top 200 comics in January, we were number 70 in revenue, like total dollars made by comic stores. This is data comic stores turn in, so it's not pre-orders, it's actually sales. And we were number 111 in units sold point of sale by comic stores.
Well,
so,
I will say this too. That number is not going to be accurate because not all stores have point of sale systems, and they don't all report that. Haven, for example, we have a manual system. We don't have point of sale.
See, so
So all of our sales wouldn't count against that. So you're actually doing better. You're doing better than the numbers would indicate.
Yeah, and then we actually hit the charts. I saw that we hit it in February with the same book, number 3. It dropped a little lower. Instead of 111, it was like 130, but it was the same book, selling all the way into February, at least a week or so in February.
Fantastic.
So I'm excited to see where number 4 lands, because look, we sold of number 3, we sold pre-ordered double the amount of number 4. So we might actually crack the top 50, top 40, top 30. We don't know. So can't wait to find out.
So let's talk about number 4, because Matt's going through withdrawals and he needs his monsters. So let's lay out the publishing schedule for the next couple of issues that are coming, because I think that will satisfy him for a little while.
Okay. Yeah. That was a big thing. I was talking about that with a group today. It really hurt, I thought, because we were, we're bi-monthly. So, having to wait a month or really 2 months to get your book. And now I feel like we're Image Comics back in the day where you would get 3 issues a year or something. Because and it should have never happened. The book was ready, right? It's been ready for a year. It was when Diamond did that, and we had to get a new distributor, and we had to push our FOC back, and then all that kind of stuff and adjustments and everything. And then I thought it was still going to come out the 1st of April. And then they were like, no, it's going to be like April. I think it's the 23rd. So that hurt, but hey, absence makes the heart grow fonder. Maybe it'll, catch it back on fire again. Well, the good news is we got that coming out the 23rd. A week later on that Friday or Saturday would be Free Comic Book Day. And that will be issue 0. And then at the end of May,
that cover looks awfully familiar.
Of which one? The normal cover?
Issue 0.
Yeah, is that the cover from Kickstarter one that I did for
that was the Haven one, yeah. Except it's colored green.
It's green, yeah. So we have that coming out the first week of May, and then the last week of May or 1st of June, because I was told it was going to be like May 28th was going to be the release date of the issue 5. But I believe Lunar pushed the FOC. Say they got number 5 FOC this next week. So I think there's still plenty of time, though. You just need a month to print the book, right? So I think it could still come out. That would be less than a month. So I think, that's number. Yeah, that's plenty of time. I don't really know if number 5 will hit the end of May or the first week of June.
If
But it'll be
FOC is, you said FOC is when? Next week?
I think it's next Monday. Yeah, it's
if FOC is next Monday, it's typically a 3-week term from FOC to when books show up. Is
so
typically how that runs.
It should show up in May, but if something happens and it is pushed back a week or something, it would be first week of June. So you're going to get 3 monster books in almost the span of 30 days, right? 3 different ones. So that's cool. Number 6 is scheduled as, everything's back to normal on number 6. That'll be in July.
I want to tell you because I just had this thought just this moment, and so I want to articulate it while I'm thinking about it. I got to have you out to the shop when number 5 comes out. So, because it'll be number 5.
Yep.
And it's monsters, and we can call it Cinco de Monsters.
Cinco de Monsters. There you go. That's a good one.
And we can have you out to the shop to sign books and stuff. I've had several people like kind of almost angry, like, when are you having him back out? Because I wasn't able to get here last time. And I'm like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, we did that right before Christmas. It was like a couple days before Christmas. Yeah, we'll have to do that. Number 5, we have that really cool one of the covers, same price as the others, but it will be polybagged with one of 4 trading cards inside.
Which I would like to reiterate, you are the devil, sir.
Yes.
The devil.
It will. I think that the trading cards will also be numbered on it to where if one of them is printed 2,000 times, it'll be 1 of 2,000, 2 of 2,000. So people can collect the mess out of them. They can get as many as they want. But that will be.
Mark really gets that whole collector thing. He's like,
yeah. So I don't know how much weight this actually carries, but according to League of Comic Geeks, Monsters issue 4, the release date is April 23rd.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then Monsters 5, the release date is May 21st.
Oh, the 21st. Okay.
Yeah, that's what they're showing.
Like Josh was saying, it should be, and that would be kind of cool because then you're getting them even less than a month apart. So that would be really neat. I believe it will be in May. I haven't been told anything about June. I was just worried that, I hate to say May 28th or May 21st, and then all of a sudden it's June the 1st or something. So that's what I would think because nothing is holding them up. Again, they're all done. When we have to send them to the printer, they're sent immediately. Number 6, what's cool? It should be. I can let it out of the bag now because it should be. The solicits should be getting out there. So I could do 3 covers on 6 and an incentive. The first cover is introducing a brand new character who shows up in that issue. You might have read all the way up to at least 6, didn't you?
I read the 8.
Okay. So the Golden Man appears on that cover. Okay.
Nice.
Second cover is I believe we did the Mummy because he hadn't been really featured on the cover. Third cover is a cover swap with Dynamite. I got Vampirilla on a cover of Monsters.
Oh, nice.
So cover C will have Vampirilla on it. At the same time, this is July when that releases, Vampirilla will have Monsters on one of its variant covers.
Oh, no, that'd be cool.
A whole group of monsters, Dracula, Frankenstein, Werewolf, Mummy, the whole thing of it. I did the art for both. And I have the werewolf holding a stick of dynamite, holding a package of dynamite on it. So
nice.
That's a callback to 2 things. It's a 1 because it's dynamite, and 2 Monster Squad. Remember,
yes,
the dynamite blew him up. So
Wolfman's got nards.
Wolfman's got nards. Yes, I referenced something of that in Monster and the Wolf too. When y'all read that, Monster and the Wolf is going to be number 2 is sent off to the letterer 2 days ago. Once I get it back, I'll send it to you guys, let y'all read it, prove it, because then I work on the revisions for the it's easier to have him letter it and then look at the thing, because if you look at the script before it, it's hard to say. Like you can look at the grammar, but it's hard to look if like this doesn't make sense and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So then we'll do revisions on that. Third issue is an all silent issue, just like that G.I. Joe that's behind Josh. It's a all silent issue. So I did that because I thought that would be really cool. So we got number 1. One's already lettered, but I already know there's some revisions on it. Then 2, and then the 3. We should be fulfilling the Kickstarter orders. I would say would have it printed in here in June. Then we have to, organize everything, bag and board everything, get everything ready. I would say we might be able to start fulfilling in July, which is 2 months ahead of schedule.
Nice.
Nobody can say you're lazy.
Yeah.
God dang, man, you move fast.
And then we're looking at Monster and the Wolf retail in October. So I think it'll be a big book. Spawn 77 might be released around that time. They were looking at around October, something they don't know yet. So on it, I'm on issue 2 right now. I think I'll be done with issue 2 by Monday. And then I'll send that in and ask them if I can go ahead and start 3. And then I'm trying to get those, out as soon as I can. I'm
going to need you to do something for me.
All right.
One of these, and Spawn's probably a perfect book, although I'd rather it be a Monsters. Somewhere you got to have like a city street or something, and there needs to be a sign for a comic book store in there that has the Haven logo on it.
Oh, I can do that probably better in Monsters to where I won't, it'll be easier to do.
Now, Spawn 77 is that going to be ongoing, or is that
It's 6-issue miniseries.
Okay, and you're doing all 6 issues?
All 6 issues, cover A at least. And I'm writing it too, but Todd's also writing it. We're co-writing it. So I came up with a plot, and what I'll do is after the pages are all done, I'll sit down and write what I think the guys are saying, or if I don't know what I want to do on a scene, I'll just say, Todd, you just, figure out whatever you want to do here, and then give those notes to Todd, and then let him go over there. And if he's got a better idea, he can be like, oh no, this guy should be saying this and this and all that. So I think it's going to be a fun process. They've given me so much freedom. They give me as much freedom as I had with Monsters, right? I gave them the outline. I said, this is what I want to do. And then this is what will happen each issue, with the story beats. It'll end with this, start with this, end with this. And they said, go for it. And I'm having a blast doing it. I can't wait for it to be out there in the world too. So at one time this year, we will have Monster and the Wolf out, Spawn 77 out, and Monsters out, all on the shelf at one time. So that's a cool thing.
Does anybody get decapitated in any of these issues?
Have I already told you this? Because I feel like, man, Spawn issue 1. Let me see how many head decapitations are there. I guess just 1. In issue 2, there's 2.
No, issue 3, there needs to be 3.
There needs to, you know what? I need to keep it going. I think I'm going to keep that streak going.
Yeah, keep that as like the running theme. There's a decapitation.
Issue 6, there'll be 6 heads.
Yep. The reason I bring it up is because Nick Marinkovich, who's the artist on Dead Romans, which if you haven't read Dead Romans is amazing. The artist on Dead Romans, in issue number 8, he's going to have Alan and I with our heads on pikes.
I wanted to do a variant cover with both y'all's heads on it.
Yes.
We'll for Monsters. So we'll look into that.
We're happy to model. I mean, you've already seen me in my underwear standing.
Yeah, I mean, I was about to say,
dude.
wow, Josh has already made the first issue. I mean, how much more are we going to put him in?
The fact that people still accuse me of being that person. I'm like, that is not me.
It's in the lore now. That's it's probably on a Wikipedia page eventually.
It probably is my lone mention on Wikipedia.
What should really and truly scare you is the power of my persuasion to convince people that you modeled for that.
No doubt.
My powers are not used for good on any level.
You can tell that Mark has a strong stomach because he was able to watch me and draw a picture of me standing at the bathroom sink.
I love it that when I sent you that to the very first time I sent those pages to you, that was the thumbnail. And you're like, what is Mark sending me?
I really was. It's like, look, it looks like a photograph. And I was like, I'm just going to have to trust that Mark sent me the right thing and not something awful. Okay, this is a comic book. Thank God.
I mean, after hearing that, I was like, "Ooh, maybe I shouldn't open with that page." And I kept thinking, maybe I might need to redo something. But I left it in there, and it worked out. So your pose right there, might have saved the day. Who knows?
That's what it was. People opened the book and couldn't get enough. They're like, "Hey, I hope I see more of that in here."
Yeah, I'll be telling people, how long do y'all think Josh had to stand in his tidy whities with his back to Mark Spears to make it look that good? Mark was examining every single aspect of that thing. And they're like,
and then he very kindly made it look better than it is. That's
I was drawing him like one of my French women or French girls.
Go. I draw him like one of my French girls. That's right. That's awesome.
Oh, in other news, I am doing some covers for DC. I had went back over there and I said, look, I got some characters over there I'd really like to draw. If y'all would let me do it my way to do them, right? And they said, sure, we would love it. So I've got one of my first ones that'll be coming out. I don't know when yet. I've already done the artwork for it. Is a Joker. The classic Silver Age type of Joker,
the best Joker. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I've got the next one. They said, what do you want to do? And I said, well, let's keep the theme going. I want to do a Lex Luthor, but the old Super Friends Legion of Doom Lex Luthor with the X, over his chest. And I've already finished that one. I'll have to show you, what they look like, but that one's already been approved. And then the next one, I think after that is going to be Silver Age Sinestro, right? I want to do one of those. And so I got a long list. And on the heroes list, I told him, I said, one of my first ones has got to be Firestorm. You never see Firestorm anymore. I love Firestorm. Never. And I just would love to do that. So we're doing them in a series that will, where you could buy them all. And they all look like they go together, kind of like what Ross did over there at Marvel.
I was going to say, you need to do what Alex Ross did at the Marvel stuff, because everybody loves those.
Yeah, so it's what was those, the Timeless or Classic or something like that. So I wanted to do them like that. Now we're looking at right now putting like a border on it, like it's a trading card or something. We're looking at that, so I'm messing with it. But they are eventually, when they come out, so no matter what they're on, you get one and they'll all match, if you get what I'm saying. So when you put them on your shelf, on the wall, you could say, wow, they all go together.
I think those Virgin covers, the way that they did with Alex Ross, work better than having I think that works better than having a border around it.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see. I had turned them in without any of that stuff, but then they said, hey, let's see what it looks like with. So I got to do a mock-up of that tonight. But I'm happy about that. I'm going to be doing some stuff for Marvel. I'm onboarding at Marvel right now.
Yeah.
Which is really cool, man. I didn't know this. The guy that I'm dealing with at Marvel, his wife's family is from here.
Get out.
No.
Are you serious?
You're telling me that the top guy at Marvel to hire you has been coming into Huntsville? Yeah, knows exactly where I live. Like he knows. Oh yeah, I know New Hope. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
I said
there's nobody in the comic industry that knows New Hope. So that was amazing. So I'm really glad I won't say who he is or anything. I don't want to nobody. No, I'll tell you guys.
The
But
important thing is he can understand you when you talk.
yes, that's true too, because he knows what this Alabama slang is down here. But that's all. That's really cool. I can't wait to see what I'll do over there. I gave him a list of
Please,
like
Moon Knight.
characters.
Please, Moon Knight. Please, Moon Knight.
I'd like to do, Star Wars, Hulk, Spider-Man. There's
Dude,
a long list of characters and stuff I wouldn't mind doing over there. So yeah, Daredevil.
Daredevil, Moon Knight. Yeah, you got to do those.
G.I. Joe, that cover I did. I showed you the one with the bats, right? Commander the bat. That will come out. It won't be out till November, I think. It said it's issue 13 of G.I. Joe.
Wow,
I think that won't be out till November.
Hey, I got a question, and I know I should know this because I love horror, but what was the inspiration for the C2E2 cover? The character, I mean, I see like
pull it up so people can see it.
Yeah, I can pull it up so people can see it.
You talking about the guy with the spiral design on him?
Yeah.
No, that's just a new character I have in Monsters. He just hasn't shown up yet. He's supposed to show up in issue 9. Tom, Comic Tom, saw that. I showed him some of my older artwork, from the card series that just came out last year, and he loved that one. And I said, you know what? When I put that on Instagram back when I did it, it was liked by more people than any of my other artwork. So he was like, I want to do a cover of that. And I said, sure. Because I'll do a cover of him for the normal release when it comes out, like probably with issue 9. So that, we'll, in January, I think will be number 9. So, but yeah, that's a new character that, so it's not based on any like homage or anything like that. It's
okay,
just,
and I love like the throwback to EC
now
Comics.
we threw that on there just he wanted a different, he was like, hey, could I have a variant of it? And I was like, well, I'd throw this on there because I already had that, done.
And it's freaking awesome. I love that.
Yeah,
I love EC homage stuff like that. And so that was really cool. And then there's Megatron that's being released this weekend too.
Yeah, this little fellow right here.
I might go back and do some. Oh, and then that I will have. I got my copies. Those will be at the expo. I got all.
You better bring enough for me.
Oh, if you want about 100 each, I got plenty of them.
The fact that he changes colors slowly, like the way you got him doing it, that's so sneaky and it's so good.
I wish it could have been glow in the dark for the blue, just the blue part of him, but it couldn't do that. But the foil looks amazing. Even the regular, the way they do them there is a little different. The regular cover's still there. This is a cover that goes over that cover, like a cardstock.
Yes.
Nice.
So yeah, really impressed with it. I like it. I think I'm going to do more G.I. Joe ones. I've been wanting to do like a Pantor and stuff like that.
Oh, I hope so.
And a big boa. So. There's a big long list I got. Those Rob just told me yesterday he'll be sending my copies out around next week. So I might have some of those by the expo.
You need to do some more of the Dreadnoks, because you need to do my man Xandar. He's got a color palette that rivals your own.
Yeah, I thought about doing him and his sister and some of the other Dreadnoks that I hadn't did, like Thrasher, Road Pig.
Zanzibar's a great one.
I love Zanzibar. So there's a lot of other ones.
Monkey Wrench.
If I did another one, it'd be really cool if they connected the covers.
Yes, it would.
There's a way you can connect them to where it's like, okay, this is they can all go together on your display, or at least matching. Like I think that's not an angle, but if they at least matched where you could put them side by side. So I do have plans for more Joe stuff as long as I can get around to it. Definitely want to do some more Joe.
Before I forget about it, Mark over at Legions of Comics on YouTube, he reached out to me the other day, and apparently, and I didn't know this, I was like, really? I had to go digging. Apparently, you're doing a variant cover for the Huntsville Comic and Pop Culture Expo.
Oh, that Thundercats cover.
I did a Thundercats cover. It's issue. Is it issue 14 or 13? I can't recall.
Somewhere in there. Somewhere in there.
Was it
Oh no,
Thundercats?
13 just came out. That was Panthro, I think. No, wait. I started at 12, 13, 14 just came out Panthro. It's for 15. It's supposed to be released like the week of the con. And I have Jeremy has got some variant covers. I think there's only like 500. And then me and the voice of Lino split 100 foil of a different variant of that. So it looks a little bit different. So yeah, come prepared to get some Thundercats and get them signed and stuff. It's gonna be
Just
awesome.
bring all your money to Mark Spears' booth.
I have of Monsters alone. I'm going to have exclusives there. You haven't been able to get before. First time ever will be at the expo. 5 different ones.
Well, I could have swore that the one that I saw, and I'm looking on the socials now, I could have swore it was a Monsters cover. I mean, I could be wrong, but
Oh,
basically,
no, I have 5 monster covers that's going to be exclusives there. I got I could probably show you some pictures.
well, he was asking me to he was like, hey, if you can, will you grab me 2 and ship them to me? And I'm like, yeah, sure. If he's got extra, I'll grab a couple and I'll find out how much he wants for them.
We're going
Have you gone on and talked to him at Legion of Comics yet on his shows?
No, I don't think I've ever
I think you have been on
you,
his.
You got to talk to this dude, man. He's amazing.
I don't think I have. We're going to do a thing. Okay, so here's the thing: we don't know how big the con's going to be. Like, I mean, number wise, we know between 20, 30,000 people. Yep. We don't know if I'm going to have a line all the time or not. Right? We just don't know. But
I would guess.
I have people saying, I got one guy who wrote me the other day, said, Mark, I'm traveling from Maryland on Saturday. I'm going to drive all the way down, see you, and then I'm driving all the way back. And I'm like, dang. Whoa. I got people coming from California, some people flying in from Texas. All these people coming there to see me and get these exclusives. So I don't know how the way I figured we would do it is like if it's an exclusive like of 100 is all I have. We're going to make it Friday 50 available, Saturday 50 available. Right? Sunday is not as a busy day. I figured it wouldn't matter as much. And we're going to limit like 1 per person. Now that could change if no one's there. Like I'll open it up to a lot more, but I think we're going to do that. And we're going to limit how many signatures in line just so it doesn't hold up the line too much, like 10 items. Right. And then got to get back in line again. I did have someone contact me that said he's a retailer and said 4 of his friends were all getting together to come and had over 1,000 books for me to sign.
Good God.
To get graded. And I'm like, dude,
that's insane. You can't do that to somebody at a show.
No, that's when I said, I said, look, bring as many as you want, but I can't guarantee I can get to them. Right. Jeremy has been gracious enough to give me a room around there, like a side room, said I can have it the whole weekend and even Thursday to do signings like that. Or, so if you do have like 100 books as a retailer, you can go set up in there. Then I can just come in there and do them real quick. I don't have time to take away from seeing everybody to go in there and let you set up and do all that kind of stuff. So it needs to already be set up. I'm going to start doing some posts about that. Like if you're a retailer and you're wanting me to sign stuff that's, let's just say over 10, use that room, right? It ain't gonna cost it. Use that room, go in there, set up your books. Then I can come in there and I can sign them all for you real quick. To make it easier. But I told the people with 1,000, I said, look, you can bring as many as you want. I don't know how many I can get to because I don't want to spend the whole weekend, signing things. So
no, you got to meet people and talk to people. That's the point of a convention.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm probably, I'll get to as many as I can. And if what I plan to do is like 2 hours at my table, an hour off, 2 hours at my table, an hour off, things like that. Because sitting at my table all the time, which I've done the last two shows, it just wears me out. It hurts my back and everything. Like, I've never got to be at the expo and actually got to shop, right? And actually see the things. I want to buy some stuff this year. So I'm going to do
If
that.
we got some stuff you're gonna want.
Oh, really? Well, I will be over there at Haven.
Do you need a Batman number 14?
Batman, you mean original, like a number 14?
Yes, sir.
Really?
Do
You
you
got
need a
one?
Detective Comics number 42 or number 48? Number 48 is the first time that Gotham City or the Batmobile are mentioned. You don't see them yet, but they're
Really?
mentioned. Yeah.
Wow, man. Is that CG Seed?
No, it's raw.
No? You
No,
didn't? Wow.
I just got them in a collection 2 weeks ago.
Holy cow. Um,
Somebody
I
already
want,
bought off me the Batman number 8 and
you had an 8.
I had a Batman number 8 and somebody bought off me Superman number 5, which I didn't realize until I got it was the first original story in Superman, the Superman title, because Superman 1 through 4 was reprints of Action Comics.
Man, I will have to go look at that stuff, man. I love
If you need a first appearance of Harley Quinn, if you need a first appearance of
oh, wow.
Poison Ivy, if you need a first appearance of Batmite, if you need the
Ooh,
cover,
Batmite?
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Now I'm telling you, the one book that's not for sale is the first appearance of Stilt-Man, because there's not a person on this planet that can afford this particular copy of it. This is an ultra rare copy. It's the only one in existence because it's mine. No one else can say they have this copy.
So, all right, you just gave me a perfect lead in for what was going to be our topic for the show if you didn't show up, Mark, which was what are some of those weird wackadoo characters in comics that you have a particular fondness for? And I thought of it because he loves Stilt-Man. Like, has this unusual, abnormal love for Stilt-Man. Nick Ellis thinks that Impossible
because
Man
that's
is
not
the best.
even a that's such a side character, right? You know what I'm saying? Like me, when I say Firestorm, that's kind of a obscure character. You don't see it much.
But like you said Batmite, and you were like, "Oh, Batmite."
But Batmite,
do you actually like
Batmite? Is one of those. I would love to do a Batmite cover. You know, just him by himself. That would be kind of neat. Mixes Pilnick, or however you say it. I love that one. There's some neat ones, but they have to appear enough. You know, not just once or twice. They need to be around a while. So,
well, you know, Stilt-Man was one of those that when I started on the Marvel app, I started the run from the very beginning, from the very first Daredevil, and then you go into, and all of a sudden you've got this Stilt-Man story, and the first thing I thought was, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Everything about him defies all laws of physics. And what happens to the stilts when they retract? I mean, because if you think about it, his legs would be like this big around to hold all the stilts inside of them. But then I was like, well, wait a minute. It's a comic book. It was written in the 60s. It's not supposed to make sense. This is brilliant. It's brilliant because it does not make sense on any level whatsoever. And I fell in love with the character for some reason after that.
He did.
Didn't they actually have him in Daredevil first season? But it was just in the character, but you saw like his costume off to the side or something. Wasn't that him?
I don't remember that.
Or am I thinking of another character? He was the guy that designed the suits in the first season.
Oh, yeah, no. That was
Gladiator.
Gladiator, yes.
And that's why he kept throwing those circular saw blades. He kept throwing those things because that's what Gladiator always had.
Yeah, because in the comic books he does become Gladiator, and it was kind of I wonder if they're going to bring him into it, and it would be cool, like a nice nod if they did.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've also got like the Swordmaster. I mean, Swordmaster, we've seen him.
Yep.
So, are you watching the current season of Daredevil Reborn?
I got up to those when they released the 2 episodes at one time. So it was what, a week ago or 2 weeks ago?
I think you're only behind one episode then, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm only behind one, but after those 2 episodes, I was like, wow, this is not what I thought it was going to be. I didn't like those 2 episodes. So now I'm hoping the first episode was great. but then I realized a lot of that was reshoots. They added all that stuff about, Bullseye and Foggy and all that. And then they had me though after episode 1, but I'm slowly getting bored. And those 2 episodes at one time, I'm like, what happened? How's 2 being dropped? I thought it was a present. I was like, oh, this is so awesome. And then I realized when those 2 was dropped at one time that I didn't enjoy them. Is this last one any good? Is it better?
I loved every single episode. I thought every single episode was great.
I like it when, okay, I understand it's the story you've seen before where he's kind of retired, but then he comes back. And I love the whole White Tiger thing. I like the thing where the cops cornered Matt in the room and Matt had to turn on his, power, just beat him up really bad and everything, even though he didn't want to, right? And I love the whole Frank scene where him and Punisher are talking and all that. But then it just is like, okay, but nothing after that. I thought it was one of the best shows. After that, though, those 2, I was like, what? I don't
see the back-to-back episodes with him fighting Muse. I thought was great. Seeing that.
Wait, but didn't he kill Muse in the right before they did the 2 episodes? I thought, wouldn't it?
No. He fights Muse, saving the girl.
Yes.
But Muse actually gets away.
He does.
And then he's
behind. He hasn't seen the next episode.
Yeah. You're behind then.
You need to see that next episode because that's going to wrap some things up for you.
Yep.
Okay. I don't know. I thought it was doing great, and then it kind of. That's one thing about having it weekly. I enjoy it to where it gives you something to look forward to, but then also some of this content is just made better to binge, because then it doesn't. Because that happens sometimes where people go, you know what, it lost. I'm done now. But if they could have binged it, they would be like, well, I'll give it one more episode. Let's hit play. And they would have been like, oh, okay, it did wrap that up, or it did talk about that. So I don't know. Maybe I'm for if they would release them like 2 a week would be neat on stuff like that. Of course, I don't know.
The episode that just aired on Tuesday, Matt's right, is wild. It's got some good stuff.
It's got some really good
episodes behind.
And the end of it, you're just kind of like screaming at the TV at the end of this last episode that just released the other night.
Yeah.
How many episodes is it going to be total? Do y'all know? Is it 8
or 9? I think it's
9.
I think
8 or 9. One of those.
I think it's 8 episodes and then a break, and then we get like 8 or 10 more episodes.
Yeah, we get season 2. Yeah.
Yeah. They're kind of splitting it up a little bit. That it's one big massive season, but they're kind of splitting it up with a little hiatus in between.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think it goes straight into the Devil's Reign story. I mean, that's what's being set up. So, well, while we've got everybody here, I've got something that I picked up for Alan, and Alan can't open it right now because it's here and I have it. But I'm going to open it for him and show it to him on the air so he can see it. What do you think?
Yeah, I got this mysterious text message, and it's been kind of bothering me. And he sent the text message like just before I went to bed, so that like pushed my bedtime back some because I was worried to death. Hey, wait a minute, who was that from?
Well, that would give it away. It actually wouldn't give away the contents. It'll give away what it is.
Oh, all I can see is the post. Oh, it's coming out of Somerset, New Jersey. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yes, comic book artist and writer Jim Calafiore.
Oh.
Yeah.
Alan, are you going to get the Kingpin at the expo to sign some stuff for you?
I am.
I was thinking about it, and then I'm going to be honest. I saw how much he charged for his autograph.
It's higher than a lot of the other people.
Yeah, and then I was like, that's money I could spend on comic books.
I still better get myself a car door. I want to do a photo op with him where I've got him slamming my head in a car door.
I mean, I would be happy if Jeremy just called me and said, hey, could you pick him up from the airport? I'm having trouble. Just give me 20 minutes in the car with him on the way to downtown.
Hey, go get a Thor book signed by him. You know, he played Thor in
Yes.
Weekends of Babysitting.
Yes, that's
Isn't that really
right.
something?
All right, so you got cardboard. It's all taped up. Whatever could this be? Oh, he's got it in plastic, so I'm going to have to take it out of plastic so that it doesn't glare. Because the glare would be vicious. The glare would be vicious. Okay, wow, this is a lot of extra plastic here. He really did a number on this.
Well, he knew it was for me.
He did, actually. I told him. I told him who it was for, and he's like, his exact words were, "Man, you're a good friend."
Maybe it's gonna. Here, let me guess what it is. It's Stilt-Man, but all you're gonna see is the legs.
That would be hysterical. If all you saw with the legs and they led into a cloud.
Oh no, it is Stilt-Man.
Yes, yes,
dude, that's great.
Yes. Hey, Nick Ellis, if you're watching, suck it. I mean, that is where it's at right there. Impossible Man is nothing. That is awesome.
Look at that.
That's pretty.
God, that is awesome. Look, and my dumb self is leaning even closer into my monitor, like it's going to help. Oh, that is beautiful. Let me mute myself.
Do you have the issues like when he was in Spider-Man and stuff? Do you have everything that he was ever in?
No, I am slowly working on some of that stuff. Just kind of picking up here and there. But I do, and it's a lofty goal. I know it's a lofty goal. I do want a complete Daredevil run. The only problem with that is how expensive issue 1 is. But I mean, everything beyond issue 1 is relatively affordable. I think that, I mean, I've got several of the Stilt-Man issues from Daredevil early on, anywhere from $20 to $40 that I've picked up here and there when I found them. So yeah, I'm definitely working on a complete Daredevil run, but I'm grabbing certain ones right off the bat that I really want. Then the others to me are kind of fillers.
Back when I had the comic book store, I had a whole run of Iron Man, all the way up to that point. And that's before, there was ever a movie or anything. And all that's gone, man. I used to love that because when you would work on the whole run, right, it was just so fun. Mm-hmm. You're trying to, and then sometimes you would go up to a certain point. You're like, I'm going to do it all the way up to issue 300 because, sometimes you didn't want the ones after that. But yeah, I hope you get it, Alan. I hope you get a number 1 Daredevil, man. That would be great. Maybe you can find a CGC 2 where it's, like a 2.0 graded.
Yeah, some of the ones I've been looking at, and I mean, it's one of those that it'll happen one day. It's just gonna, you know how it is when the moment hits and you're looking at the comic book and you're like, that's my book.
Yep.
I mean, it'll happen one day. I'm not trying to rush it. But we had a friend of ours that we've got a group chat going back and forth. He decided he wanted a complete run of Uncanny X-Men.
Yep.
And he literally did the complete run of Uncanny X-Men.
That's crazy.
He did some wheeling and dealing and all kinds of things to get it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, we watched it. It took a while for him to do it. And I mean, it was watching him get this complete run. I think all of us somewhat got emotionally invested in it.
We did.
And when he finally pulled it off, it was like, it almost felt like we did it, even though we had nothing to do with it. And then I'll be darned if he doesn't say, you know what? I think I'm going to sell every single one of them and start me an amazing Spider-Man run.
That's exactly what he did. And I was like, you son of a gun. We all wanted to strangle him at that point.
Yeah. He literally sold every single one of them and turned around and bought AF-15. And he's been picking the Amazing Fantasy and Amazing Spider-Man up all along the way now. And it's kind of like, I don't have it in me for this emotion roller coaster ride twice.
I want to get some pre-code. So you had some pre-code, didn't you, at the expo last year?
Oh yeah, yeah.
If you ever run across a title called Mr. Mystery, it's pre-code over that area. I'm going to start picking those up. Now I'll say this on here. Anybody listening will go and start grabbing them on eBay because what I'm about to tell you. So I probably shouldn't. But anyways, the next Kickstarter I'm doing in this December for another, a side mini series of monsters was going to be called Mr. Mystery, but it was going to be with MR Mystery, not MISTER. Because I've had that character a while. I've done it with trading cards, and I was like, oh, I'm going to do this. And what I want to do is find those original pre-code ones and homage some of those with my character with the same name. So I thought that would be really cool. But I also would like to buy up some of those, especially since I'm doing this. But
you want from 1951? Is that what I'm reading?
Yeah, I think
the
it was around
time period.
Yeah.
Before code, yeah.
I'd love to get that Black Cat episode with the melting face. I just did a homage for that for Golden Apple. That Golden Apple has one, they said, that's slabbed. That's a good grade. I'd love to get that one. That's looked at a lot.
I've got a Black Cat comics up at the shop. It's not that one. It's got like a tree being struck by lightning on it, and I believe it actually has a black cat on the cover too. But
yep, that's Mr. Mystery.
All right.
So some of those covers are really cool. I mean, all those covers back in the day to me were just awesome looking.
Yeah, they were.
From what I saw, the prices on them didn't look bad at all.
No, that's why I think. But here's the thing: I bet you when I come out with that book and it goes out in retail, so like in 26, it would be in retail. I bet you those start going up because, especially if I homage those, right?
Yeah.
Like that cover, I'd like to homage and stuff like that. So, I'd like to get right before I jumped on here, I was working on an homage I got to work on my covers now for Monster and the Wolf because I can't use Kickstarter covers. I wanted to use all new ones. So I'm picking some pre-code horror that had werewolves in it, things like that. So I love that cover. And I was thinking that would be perfect. I could do either ants or spiders, either one. Maybe spiders be a little bit different, right? But it'll be the character and he's buried like that. And my logo's a little different, but yeah, I love it. So, and I love
check that out, Mark.
What is it? Teammate. Wow, that's awesome, Matthew.
There's only 19 issues of this? Huh.
Yeah. Hey, Josh, are you going to be my my agent at the con like you were last year? You worked out my my Lobo deal.
I am. I am. I can't help myself.
No, I love it. I'll have to give you a list of books I want, and you can go over there and go, hey, Mark Spears really wants that book. He's got a couple of Monsters #1s right here. He'll trade you.
Well, I tell you, Steve Hinton, he and I were talking the other day. He's the one that traded you because you drew him a werewolf.
It wasn't in I thought, it was him in Man-Thing. Man-Thing
yes.
and Werewolf
yeah,
by Night.
Yeah, that's right. And he was like, I feel like I very much came out on the best side of that deal.
Oh, he sells that right now, dude.
Oh, he ain't got any plans to, but he's like, that's a one and only, man. I got it.
I did this thing earlier today where this high school comic book club, for the teacher of it, wanted me to talk to his students via computer.
That's
and
awesome.
I'm talking to them, and he's saying that and I'm going through my career and all that and the Kickstarter stuff, and he goes, yeah, I was part of that first Kickstarter. And I was like, oh, you are? I said, well, I said, those are worth something, pretty good money now. He goes, oh yeah, I sold one of them and got $1,100. I'm like, good for you, man.
Wow.
I mean, and I told him, I said, I'm so happy when that happens because everybody who did the Kickstarter, they took a gamble too. Those books could have been horrible. They might not have been good. They might have never been worth anything. So if those people want to sell them and make them some money and go buy them something else, I'm all for it because everybody's happy. The person who got it really wanted it. The other person was like, hey man, I could use this money. One guy wrote me and sold his for $15,000, and said, "Mark, you've changed my life, man. I really needed that $15,000. Yeah, $15,000 for some Kickstarter books."
Hey, Josh, I've got a steel cover that he gave me that I'm willing to let you have for $14,000.
That's a deal.
I tell you, that Jaws cover with the metal cover for that Jaws homage cover. I don't know why that one particularly gets me, but that one really gets me. I'm like, I like the metal covers. I think they're great. I'm not desperate to get metal covers,
Right.
but that one needed to be a metal cover because that one really, really worked. And you're like, oh my God, this is great.
That sold the most of any medals we ever made. And I remember when I put it on the list, I said, "Hey, can we use this as a medal?" And Keenspot was saying, like, "But that's a shark." And I was like, "Yeah, but I think it would. I know it doesn't fit the book,
but that's a shark.
But I think it would make a great medal." And he goes, "You know what? I think you're right." And look what happened. I at that time was thinking if the thing appeared on the cover, it needed to be appearing inside. So I was trying to write a scene where that shark would appear somewhere. Right. And I was like, you know what? People, if it's a cool cover, they don't care. You know, it's a separate kind of thing. But
now,
I have a serious question here, half serious. Has Keenspot just like given you the keys at this point?
They allow me to do, you know, things that I want to do. I love not hearing no. And hey, it's a good relationship because here's the thing is without Keenspot, one, Monsters wouldn't have come out when it did, which, you know, who knows, maybe it needed to come out that very day for everything to happen. But it's nice. Like the other day I'm writing them and I'm like, hey, people are wanting short boxes with monsters all over them.
Yes.
And I said, can we get that done? And he goes, yeah, I know some people. We can do that. So it's just like, I've never heard the word no from them, right? Like if I say, hey, I want to do another series, you know, called, you know, Monster and the Wolf, you got it, you know? So it's really good over there. Everything's roses. And you got to think if without them, I can do exclusive covers for myself and make money as a retailer. So it all flows good, but I mean, I think I've done a lot for them by getting them noticed more, but they also, you know, honestly did a lot for me by taking a gamble. They're like the Kickstarter guys did. So it's, you know, again, I like our working relationship. I don't know how they work with other people and stuff, but when I email them, man, they write me back, you know, as quick as possible and tell me, you know, what's going on. Like if I say, hey, can we do this for this issue? Or can we do glow in the dark covers? Right. A lot of people's asking about that. They looked into
your art with glow in the dark covers would be phenomenal. If you've seen the covers for that Batman book that's out, what is that called? Full Moon.
Yep.
Batman Full Moon. It's a Batman and werewolves. But the glow in the dark use on those covers is spectacular.
I really want to do one. The printers that we're using said they used to do it, then they quit doing it, but now they have it where they could do it again or something. We was going to look into it. So we haven't checked with them again, but I want to do it because a lot of people say, you know, that there's a number, the 5th printing incentive with the skull. It's the Evil Dead homage. If you've seen it, that one, people were saying, man, that would have looked great glow in the dark, right, with that skull on it. So I was like, yeah, you know, wish we could have done something like that then, but hopefully I can get that worked out to where either as an exclusive or a normal cover variant that'll be out through like Lunar can be a glow in the dark, because that would just be great. I remember that Ghost Rider glow in the dark back in the day, right?
Yes, long time that was ago. Such a good cover.
Yes, I mean I had it on my wall. I bagged it, boarded, and put a thumbtack in the top of the bag and board and had it on my wall so it would glow in the dark at night and stuff. It was awesome looking. So would love to do that.
You remember that Spectre, glow in the dark Spectre cover that was so good too?
Yes, I remember.
That was a great
one too. He's a great one to glow in the dark because of his skin color, you know, the way it looks anyway.
Yep.
So
you remember the movie John Carpenter's The Thing, not the remake, but the one that came out in the 80s? The way that movie poster was with like the It all you
The
never
big
saw a
coat.
face for the thing. All you saw was the parka up.
Yep.
Do that in your style, but the glowing face or the glowing orb that would be there, that's what actually glows in the dark. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, there's a lot more homages to movies and stuff I'd like to do. So hopefully we can keep going with the, other printings and all that kind of stuff, and be able to keep doing them. I'll have a book out if Monster and the Wolf comes out at Halloween. I would love to do something. Maybe it's a Halloween variant or an exclusive or something. And this year I'll have a book out in December. It'll be Monster and the Wolf #2 if that holds up. So I'd like to do something Christmas, related, like a Krampus cover or something really cool.
Oh, yes. Yes, a Krampus cover. Actually, that would probably go well with the glow in the dark if you had a lot of snow on there.
Oh yeah, I'll have all the snow glowing.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And
I
if you did it real
love to do
clever,
it.
you could have like snow falling, and you really wouldn't tell it unless you did glow in the dark, but it could look like a face or something. That could be pretty awesome.
Oh yeah,
Now here's a
I'll
good
have
one.
to see how they do it to see, if they can
How
make one layer
granular they
glow.
can be.
Yeah, I'd love to do it, and that would be a good time to do that. We are looking at if the trading card poly bag goes off without a problem. When that comes out, my next poly bag was going to be 3D glasses and make 3D covers, right? Where you buy the cover, you open the pack, they would be kind of like this. I got some right here from my trading cards. These are supposed to be like the Frankenstein version ones. So you put these on, and then you'll look at your cover, and it looks totally different than what it looks like, because of the 3D. So
You
I
are
really want to
leaning
do
into
that.
the '90s so hard, and I
Oh
love it
yeah,
so much.
You could call it the National Treasure cover from when
National.
they put the
That's
glasses
true.
on.
Those
Oh
glasses.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's true. I didn't think of that.
yeah.
I
Matt's
I
got a
still
pretty good.
have I've got a comic up at the shop. It's on the back wall. Oh, it's from 1951, I want to say. It's a circus comic. Circus. And it
Circus.
and it's 3D, and it still has the 3D glasses in it.
Oh wow.
Matt's got a pretty good question. Do you or the publisher decide what covers exclusively go where?
Okay, so if he's talking about distribution with Lunar and all that stuff,
He's just talking about exclusives, like what
oh
store
no,
gets
no,
an
I
exclusive.
I do, but at one time I was too busy, so I let them kind of do it where a store would ask and we would do that. I have stopped doing exclusives for any store right now just because um just to catch everybody up on what that was like. Okay, so say Alan wants to do an exclusive, and he comes and says, "Mark, I will pay you, $1,000, right, for this exclusive." And then, or let's just say 2,000. That covers the printing and everything. Okay, I give him the book. He can then take that book and he might go and make, depending on what he sells it for, $30, $40, 50, whatever. He might make $10,000 to $20,000 on that book. I still made, well, I don't even make the 2,000 because it's printing
Some goes to the
costs,
printer and all that.
and all that. So I might make $500. So there were a lot of stores making hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? They even, two of them wrote me and said they feel bad. They feel bad I made so much money off of you. But I understand. Hey, it's that's what the store's job is to do, is make money. I'm all for that. So, but I got to the point where I was like, I'm going to become a retailer for myself, right? With like at the expo, and then I'm going to become right after the expo, my store goes back online. I had one when I did the Kickstarter, and I will sell exclusives there. So instead of me taking the time to do artwork or use old artwork for those people, I can do it for myself, and then I make 100% of the profits instead of a little bit of the profits of that. Will I ever do them again? Because there's some out there still right now. Like Comic Tom has that one this weekend, and then I think Davis Rider Comic Tom has one more that'll come out with issue 4 that they're probably saving for Dallas or somewhere like that. But issue 5 has no exclusive, and the 5th printing has no exclusive by any store except me, right? So in the future, will I open that back up? Maybe. But what I would probably do, like if Josh says, Mark, I really want an exclusive with me and Alan Ted. What I would probably do on something like that is saying, okay, let's do this, Josh. How many copies you want? And he goes, I just want about 100. I said, let's do 200. You get 100, I get 100. And let's figure out the cost of it, right? Like who has to pay what. That's beneficial for both of us, right? You got 100, you sell at your store. I got 100, I can sell online or on eBay or whatever, or our appearances. So that's more beneficial than if Josh just said, I want 100 and he gets 100 and I don't get, any of them. So that's kind of like going forward. That's what
we can haggle over the number, but I'll make that deal with you right now.
I will do that deal. Haven's been with me through thick and thin. We will do a Josh Allen. Well, what we'll probably call it in the back of the book when you look in the, like right in here.
Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
We could do. We could say it could say Mark Spears exclusive or whatever, so people won't be hounding your store saying, "How did you get that and we didn't?" Or something. But it will be a Josh Allen on the head. We'll order so many for Haven, and I'll order some more for like online and stuff. But we'll do it. It's a done deal.
Put me and Alan and Alex. I think that would be the key right there. All the three of us on there.
How about we put? We'll put y'all decapitated and Alex standing over y'all's heads like
that. Would that works?
That would be kind of cool.
With that face he would do where he'd be like,
yes. We'll look into that because I'll just have to get some good references for him. You guys, I could easily get some, y'all's mugs, but we'll see if we do that because I did want to put, I talked to you about that before. After we did that for Alex in 3.
Yep.
I kept saying next step we need to put Alex on a cover somehow, right?
Yep.
As an exclusive, that would be awesome. Something kind of. He would think that's hilarious, so that might work.
He would.
So
another thing, what I ought to do is I need to go back by his mom's house, and see if she's got any more of his art she would be willing to part with.
Yeah, I'd love to
get some of those monsters that he was drawing all the time.
Yep,
because he was always drawing monsters, wackadoo, giant floating eyeballs, with gnarly roots growing out of them, and all kind of stuff. And he just was drawing that stuff all the time. I would love to see one of his creations like end up somewhere in one of your books.
I would
that
like
would be amazing.
As a nod to Alex, right? Yeah. I think he would be smiling on us for doing that. So yeah, if we can do something like that, if somebody has the artwork or something, even if it's a photograph of the artwork, as long as we kind of know what it was, so we can recreate it.
Yeah, I could get some of that art, I think, from his mom. I think she still got a fair bit of it, and I could probably scan it in.
That's why we that way can give it back to her and stuff like that. But I just think it'd be great. Let him live on in this monster universe, right?
That's the best thing ever, right there.
I mean, he would have loved that.
I think he would be absolutely embarrassed by it, but I think he would love it on the inside.
If I can come up with doing his likeness pretty decent, I would add him as a character with his name being Alex in it, right? And I think his mom would love it. And
she would.
I'm going to work on that. Maybe I could make a 3D model that looks similar to him, and we'll call him Alex, and it'll be in honor of him, And
I love it.
So yeah.
All right. Mark, you missed, or Legion, you missed earlier. One of the first things Mark talked about when he came on was he's doing a whole series of covers for DC.
Yep.
Kind of, sort of like the Alex Ross covers for Marvel. As a point of reference, they're not the same at all.
Right. It's more the characters I want to draw from the Silver Age superpowers era, right? And let's just say 80s, right? Because I love but when I do Brainiac, I probably wouldn't do the Brainiac droid. I would do the old Brainiac with the little dots. He's green with the collar and all. I just love those designs. And of course, you also got to think with my color palette, those really pop, right? Those old colors they used. So I want to do a Batman and Robin, like that. I've talked to him about that. A crypto Batman.
But you already said you're doing
Superman.
Joker, old school, like Silver
I've
Age
already
Joker.
finished Joker, old school. I'll describe what it looks like. I don't think I can get in trouble with that. So it's going to be on a cover for World's Finest. So they needed some kind of reference, they said, to Batman and Superman. It can't be just a Joker cover, right? So I said, okay. So at first I was going to put something on the wall, and I was like, no, I wanted a black background. So I did it black. And then I took some pins, like, those old smiling pins that they would put on Joker, Alan Moore or somebody did during Watchmen and stuff like that. I did little pins of Batman on his lapel right here, and the other one he's holding a Superman pin, and he's holding it out to the reader, so that way it references Batman and Superman. He's got a crowbar in his other hand, so that way it references that. The Lex Luthor I just did, he's just got his arms crossed, and it looks really cool because the old suit. And I was looking at the way people do Lex Luthor, and I was noticing, dude, and Alex Ross does this, and a lot of other people, they draw him really thick, more like how the guy who plays the Kingpin kind of looks, right?
Yes.
That like really thick faces. And if you went back, and I went back and watched some episodes of the Legion of Doom versus the Justice League or Super Friends, whatever it was called, and he's thinner. And I was like, I'm going to draw him like the way you used to be, the action figures that were produced like that. He's more of a mad scientist. He's bald, and he's always got them black eyebrows that, really intense. And
how'd that go again?
I did it, and it worked out great. I liked it.
How'd those eyebrows go again? I can't wait for the AI. AI does these little.
Where we'll grab the
grab
thumbnail.
clips and stuff.
That's the thumbnail for Haven.
Yeah, it'll grab clips and things of little bits of the show that we can put out, and that I guarantee you it's going to be one of them. But he is doing a Sinestro cover. He already said that one.
Yes,
too.
That's my next one to do. And it's not. I love Sinestro right now with the yellow suit and all that, but it's going to be old Sinestro with that bluish white and black suit, gold ring, the higher head Sinestro that looked more like the leader a little bit, right? He had a higher forehead. I just miss those, man, and they're not coming back, right? Those old designs, and I'm so fortunate to DC for them to let me do this because they're really pushing the newer stuff, right? So I'm just so grateful that they're letting me do what I wanted to do. And I said, that's what I want to do is the older looks, because I was afraid they would be like, oh, wait, we misunderstood you. But now they know what I'm after. So Sinestro, I got on my list of ones possible I want to do after that is like Solomon Grundy would be fun.
Oh,
yeah, that would be a good one.
What's another one that was in like Legion of Doom? There was Bizarro, but I don't want to do the Bizarro with, he has a rock right here and all that stuff. Now it's the old Bizarro from the 80s. He's just basically, just a messed up, he has more like the skin is cracked like glass and all that kind of stuff. Then there would be, I might even do, what's her name? The Wonder Woman, is it Cheetah? The woman villain.
That would be a good one.
That would be cool. Then there's I thought about, man, Captain Cold would be awesome because who's another good Flash villain besides Captain Cold?
You could actually do like
a Boomerang.
If you wanted to go with like those, like the cartoon that we grew up with, you could actually do like that 80s style Captain Cold with that cartoon 80s style Toy Man or Toy Maker.
Was it? Yeah, wasn't he in Legion? I think.
Yeah, he was in the Legion of Doom.
Toy Man or Toy Maker or whatever.
Trickster. Yeah.
Was it Trickster? Okay, I have to look at it and see the Trickster. I like
you
that.
You ought to do
one.
A Scarecrow. How have you not done Scarecrow?
Well, the thing about doing Batman ones, Because see, I'm working with the non-Batman side of DC, so I can do Batman stuff like the Joker. But you see where they have to put it on World's Finest or Justice League. They said that was an option. But I think Scarecrow would be harder to do because there's just so many great villains in the Batman stuff I would like to do. But I'll probably save those after I've done all these others. It's easier to ask after you've done all these other ones and they've done well. Then they're like, oh, of course, if you want to do that, whatever. So I'll probably do. I don't know how many villains before I start doing the heroes, but. I'd like to do. Oh, there we go. Gorilla Grodd would be fun. Oh, the Riddler, but see, that's him. But I wouldn't mind doing it.
Toy Man. That's who I was talking about.
Is she around anymore? What was her name? Like Gigantra, or what was her name? The girl who grew tall.
I don't.
Wasn't she just in Wonder Woman?
Yeah, she was just in Wonder Woman, but she didn't go by Gigantra, did she?
I can't see. The bottom says their name. I can't read it though. It's too blurry.
It's Gigantra. I can barely read it myself.
Giganta, yeah.
No, Giganta.
But yeah, in Wonder Woman, she grew really big, picked up the Washington Monument, and hit Wonder Woman with it.
So I'd like to do those guys. I would like to do again on the opposite side. Firestorm is on my top of my list. A Batman, Robin, from that kind of time period on One Piece would be great, and then
Black Lightning, that'd be cool.
I wouldn't mind doing those Super Friends.
Ooh, a Mr. Terrific would be good.
A Mr. Terrific. What was those guys from Apache Chief,
the Wonder Twins,
Samurai, and the Wonder Twins?
Yep.
Those dude, Wonder Twins would be great. And then, because again, these are obscure characters you'll never get to see the book really, right? Because they don't really use them anymore. But the Demon, I liked him. Mr. Miracle, I got to do Mr. Miracle and Big Barda, but it was for the vampire thing, and it was snowing, and you couldn't really. They had other clothes on and stuff. So I would like to do just a regular old Mr. Miracle would be fun, and a Big Barda. But Dr. Fate.
Now you're talking. Alan's all excited. You said Dr. Fate.
Dr.
Again,
Fate.
I'd like to see you do Our Man.
Our Man would be great. And then see, I got to do Flash on the Superman Flash race that I did for Justice League.
Yep.
But it was the new Flash, so I still have a feeling inside like I haven't got to do Flash yet. And I want to do a Flash on one of those.
I just like to see you do one of those ones where it's the close up of the ring as it's popping open and the suit's popping out.
Oh yeah,
I would love to see that.
Love to do that. There's a lot of things I would even besides this kind of series that we're talking about. There's some classic covers that I would do that I'd like to do. There's because I did a lot of this stuff for the sketch cards when I did them for DC Legacy, because I did over 600. So I did a lot of these kind of things then where I had Joker sitting on a throne with all the DC weapons around him. Right, he had Green Lantern rings, he had the Flash ring, he had all this kind of stuff. He had Hawkman's mace, which then the Hawkman be another one I'd want to do. So a Lobo, I would love to do a Lobo with those kind of Joker and Lex Luthor ones like that. So lots of characters, and if they'll keep letting me do them, I would probably do a couple of those every month while I'm maybe even 3 a month while I'm still doing all this other stuff. Because it doesn't take that long to do them, and I have a blast on it. It's just so fun to do. So
I'm over here Googling obscure DC characters.
And some of them, if they're so obscure that they think won't work on a book by itself, I can add them together, right? I have
like the Condiment King.
Yeah.
And I'd like
I'm trying to picture you doing something creepy like I know it's a Batman villain, but something like God, what's his name? The with the little ventriloquist, the ventriloquist.
Oh, yeah, he has that little ventriloquist dummy.
Oh, that'd be so creepy. It'd be so creepy. Hugo Strange, man, you doing Hugo Strange? Oy.
Ra's al Ghul, I would love to do something like that. there's so many out there.
Oh, you just reminded me. I think since the last time I talked to you, I've got some original art. I got a page of Andy Kubert original art from the 2014 series Robin Rises. Batman is on there multiple times, and Ra's al Ghul's on there.
Dude.
Um,
Usually it's hard to get pages with Batman or any of the main characters on it, right? Because those ones sell
and Batman's on there multiple times. I also have the original cover art, for the Humberto Ramos cover of Power Rangers number 25, that Shattered Grid story.
Man, you're gonna sell that one.
I'm gonna try because I don't care about Power Rangers.
Actually, I was just sitting here thinking, if we ended the show, we could go backstage and I could try to broker a deal so everybody gets something that they want.
Well, before we do that, Adam Aykroyd asked a question a minute ago, and I think it's a good question for us to look at. If I can scroll back up to it, why is the scroller not scrolling?
The scroller's not scrolling.
It is not. It's being a real pill here. Here we go. He asked what we think about the upcoming Superman movie, and what we think about that. I got to tell you, I'm really excited for it. I think it looks great.
I am definitely looking forward to it. But I know there's going to be cameos in it, and if it is true, because some reports say that it is, and other reports say that they're only talking. If his name just left me, Scalar, something like that. He plays Spencer in 1923. If he truly is the next Batman and his cameo is filmed for Superman, I'm really intrigued about that because I think he's going to be a great Batman. So, I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to the movie. I'll definitely be there opening weekend for that one. And I really want to see which direction James Gunn is going to go with the DC universe.
I had originally, back when the movie was announced, I said, I need to get on working at DC before that movie comes out. This was back in 23. And everything worked out, and I did. I got work on Superman and stuff. Well, me and DC kind of just parted ways around December. I stopped doing any more covers for them just because they had the work for me, but I was like, I got all this other stuff that I want to do and stuff. So I kind of left. When I had heard some of my friends in the industry have seen the movie, the cut that's out, right? There's going to add some more stuff and do different things to it. They said it's phenomenal, that it's amazing. And then I thought, I really want to go back to DC and do those characters I always wanted to do. And that's when I reached back out to DC, and they said, Mark, we'd love to have you do those things. So now I'm going to get to be back over there when DC comes out with that movie, and I think it's going to be a huge hit. I think it's going to, which honestly, if you asked me a year ago, I would have said, well, Fantastic Four is going to beat it. I just would have said that because of the trailer and stuff. Superman's not revealing what it's about, right? There is a hidden story in Superman that they're not trying to let you know, which I like that. I don't want to know everything. You just really need to know like what it kind of looks like. And like the cameos and stuff are just cameos. They're not like, I was worried, oh, is this a Guy Gardner movie? Like, is he? No, that's not the case. So, and dude, when I saw the opening thing the other day, where I'm sure y'all saw that, where Superman gets picked up by Crypto and the robots and all that,
the 5-minute thing,
and saw the what is it, the Fortress of Solitude, how it turns and all that. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is probably in my lifetime will be the only Superman movie we have that's that close to like the comics. I know the suit's not comic accurate, but you got to think they do have a crypto. We've never had a crypto in a Superman movie. We've never had a Fortress of Solitude that's more like the real Fortress of Solitude was supposed to be. We never had Superman robots that even have the numbers on them. That's
You want to know something cool?
What?
I've got a little piece about yay big of the Fortress of Solitude up at the shop.
From where? The Reeves movie or
from the new movie, this movie.
Whoa. If you threw it out somewhere, would it just start growing?
I haven't risked it.
That's awesome.
We covered in Alabama red clay.
Yeah, look at what it would spawn. But
it's the fortress of pollen and muditude is what it is.
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to do superb. On the other hand, I don't know how the Fantastic Four movie is going to do. I'm hearing they're doing the same kind of thing. They're kind of withholding a lot, right? They're not wanting to show their cards yet either. Dude, I just can't see a movie with Galactus in it not being good because you've always wanted to see him. And he looks like he's going to be a comic accurate Galactus, from Batman.
Not a weird cloud.
I think the Johnny Storm, Sue Storm, and Thing were perfect casting. I love Pedro Pascal in Game of Thrones.
He's an odd choice, isn't he?
What choice?
He's an odd choice.
He's an odd choice. I love him as an actor in everything he's been in, like Last of Us. I loved Game of Thrones. I've liked him in all these. But as the smartest man in the universe, it is odd. There's some people you just look at and you go, oh, that guy's probably a really smart, nerdish kind of guy. He doesn't seem like that. He seems more, the opposite of that, like a cool, suave guy, that could sell you a car or something, So I don't know, but I hope he can. And how are they going to do the powers? Mr. Fantastic powers can look silly if not done right. Yep. So I worry about that. But what I saw of the Thing and Human Torch and stuff like that looks phenomenal. I just think we're in a great shape. We get to go see both of them this year. We didn't got to pick which one, right? So
it is an embarrassment of riches.
It is, and I honestly I hope the best for both. I want to work with both companies, and I hope both of them spark something, and a lot more people go to buy comic books again. We keep this engine going. So
can I just say, if you get to do some work for Marvel,
yep.
And if they say, well, what would you want to draw? Here's something I would love to see from you. Knowing your color palette and how things work, and knowing some of the way that I think I can visualize how you would do some things. I'd like to see Silver Surfer versus Annihilus.
Oh.
Because you got all that green and you got the bug look and all that. And then you got all the reflections off Silver Surfer. And I just think that you would kill Silver Surfer versus Annihilus.
Silver Surfer's on my list. And Galactus is on my list of like characters that I wouldn't turn down if they say, because they even asked me, like, would I do exclusives for other stores and stuff like that. And I said, it's all about characters. It ain't a money thing on this because, it's not a lot of money, but it's the characters. I'm wanting to do this because I love these characters and at least have one of those where I can say, hey, you want to see my Spider-Man cover? You want to see my Galactus cover? As long as I could do it at least once and be proud of what I did. So I would love to have a whole series over there of different things I've done. But it's on my list. I would like to do that before I hang it up one day. Of course, there's the X-Men, Avengers stuff and all that. But high on it would have been Silver Surfer. I think I could knock out of the park. Galactus, Hulk, Spider-Man, all those. So
for Jeremy Long, you have to do the Spot.
The Spot?
You have to do Spot. Yes, that wackadoo obscure villain from Spider-Man.
That's what I'm saying. When he holds up the portals?
He just becomes like he's got covered in random. Yeah. Jeremy
Spot.
Long loves him. That's his random wackadoo character that he loves.
Oh my goodness. That's crazy. Oh man. Maybe one day. I would love to one day if I'm hoping Spawn 77 comes out and it's a hit. And then Marvel and DC both say, Mark, we would like for you to come over here and do like a mini series. You write it, you do the interiors, you do the covers. And I would love to do one for both, right? And do those kind of characters that I could just come up with a cool story and take people on an adventure. So that would be a lot of fun.
Fantastic. That's fantastic. Dude, that's awesome. Well, Alan's got a little brokering to do apparently, so we're going to sign off now. And we will see you guys next week. The expo is just what, 2 weeks away?
15 days, yeah, 2 weeks
15
and 1 day.
days away. That's insane. And then free comic book day is the next weekend. That's nuts. So a lot of stuff going on, and we're going to have a great time. You guys will hope to see you next week. And
oh, hang on a second. I will make it official right here for any of y'all that are coming to the expo. If you will take your Monsters #1 to Mark Spears, get him to sign it, and then immediately turn around and take it to Josh Olive, and he will sign across his own butt on the very front page.
Josh, are you charging for your signature this year, or is it free?
If anybody wants me to sign across that butt, I might charge them.
Across the crack.
You know that 2-page spread?
So we can do. We'll get you a sign printed up that says it says free signatures, but on the butt crack $5.
There you go. That's what it needs to be.
I'm gonna go get me some $5 bills from the bank.
Woo.
And you know what? I might pay people who come up and get my signature. I might say, hey, take this $5 and go over to Haven. And you tell him you want him to sign on that crack.
And make sure you bring the CGC guy with you.
If we could just get one person to show up and have Josh sign on that crack, it'll make all this worth it.
Oh, I'm sure I can get somebody $5 to do it. Somebody will do it.
All right. Well, we'll catch you guys next week. Read some comics, and we'll come back and talk about them next time. Thanks, guys.